So going to be a very brief review of this week's Fairy Tail chapter. Not too much to say, to be honest with you. And also, I'm not that big a fan of when certain series, not all series, but when certain series get on the boat, it's kind of like, I don't know, like when Magi in particular gets on boats, I always be like, hurry up and get off the boat. So I was in a way kind of glad that they weren't on the boat too long. It was literally just like a small chunk of the chapter. So that was a good thing. It was like, we're on the boat, we're getting kind of, not meaningless exposition, but for the most part, just hearing things that we, for the most part, already know, like Fairy Tail is confused about Lumen Histore, things of that nature. I wish Erza would take a little bit more, not necessarily pride, but just kind of fully assume the role of master. Like when Mess is like, should I call you Erza or master? She's like, Erza's fine. Yeah, it's polite, but at the end of the day, she should have just said, depending on who we're around, call me master or something along the lines of that, because I want her to fully be like a master. Like when they say, you know, the 6th master, 7th master, etc., I want her to be counted as it, not just some temporary substitute until Makarov returns. Now it seems as though we're definitely getting more into the whole thing of the Dragon Slayers and how they have a lot of symptoms in common, with Wendy now getting motion sickness, even being on a boat. I would like a little bit more of an explanation on that. Exactly what is it, why they get this way? Is it because of the particular magic, the way it's given to them? Is it because dragons can fly, something along the lines of that? I would like a nice little explanation at the very least on why is it that they get like that. And then as far as the whole Team B thing goes, it was really nice to see as well that Gajeel he's kind of changed. He's developed a little bit over the time skip, and I think that's partially due to being around the Magic Council, probably being around Levy a little bit more, helped him as well. Like he's more so in a leadership role now, like he's taking charge. He's like, we're gonna go find Loxus. He rounded up Team B, which is pretty different from the lone wolf that Gajeel has been nearly the entire series. He's always like, he goes off on his own, maybe he'll have like his cat with him, and then eventually he shows up when shit goes down. Now he's taking a little bit more charge, so at the very least we're seeing some growth in him that was due to the time skip. So it actually gives some validity to the time skip, because I mean at the end of the day, a lot of things stood the same from the time skip, but we could see with Natsu developing and now Gajeel taking leadership roles, a lot of characters have gotten something out of the time skip at the very least. But then again, a lot of the dialogue that we got with Team B as well is stuff that we already know. There's a 0% chance of, you know, Fairy Tail winning, even though in reality that BS, let's be real here, Natsu's gonna steamroll like 80% of the fucking villains, which I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that, like, take for example, I'll show you a scenario of what I would like it to be like when in Yu Yu Hakusho, when they were going through Mei's castle and they had to like hold the wall and they were struggling and they had to really struggle to get through each and every person when they had to fight the Saint Beasts and whatnot. Let's get something along the lines of that. Let's get something where like each Fairy Tail member has to go knuckle and tooth with these motherfuckers, or maybe 2-on-1 to some of these people, and Fairy Tail got to keep going, and some of them actually get, you know, kind of fucked up or fight to the very brim of it all, so that way we see somewhat of a struggle. Because the way this place has been built up, the Alvarez Empire and everything, we need to see a struggle. This can't be that Natsu's gonna come in and friendship fuck people up, because they've been built up. I mean, at the end of the day, while Tartarus, a lot of them did get embarrassed, there were some cases in Tartarus at the very least where they lived up to the legend of like, they gave them an ass whooping. I mean, Erza was stripped butt-ass naked and tortured. Let's get something like that with this Alvarez Empire. And then the remainder of the chapter, honestly, was what I felt we got the most from this chapter, and that's the progression of getting to this island. It was kind of funny, and at the same time using fan service in somewhat of a smart way. I don't want to necessarily say smart, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's fan service. It's tits and ass. But when Lucy and Erza use their assets to help them get through, it was like, hey, Hero's doing fan service, but it makes sense in context of the story, and it's not just like, I'm gonna make these motherfuckers get a boner. It's like, it actually makes sense. And speaking of growth with Gajeel, on the other hand, we also see Natsu grow a little bit, because at the end of the day, they have to keep on telling him, Natsu, don't do it, Natsu, don't do it. And it wasn't just Natsu, it was all of them that jumped in. And I think, had it not been that it was a kid getting abused, I don't think Natsu would have actually done something. I think he would have just been chilled or whatever, but the fact that they were about to fuck up a kid, he jumped in there alongside everyone. So it wasn't just him this time. It wasn't like the same old, Natsu, he's hot-headed, haha. It was like, yeah, the kid was about to get fucked up. Everybody jumped in. And I don't know if that was an homage or what to Naruto with the kick-ass no jutsu, but I found it to be a little bit funny. And with all that being said, honestly, it was a fine chapter. I give it like a 6 out of 10. It was like, we mainly got to one of the islands. We didn't get to Alvarez yet, but we got to basically meet up with the spy, or the spy is supposed to be on this island, and we're already in trouble, which par for the course with Fairy Tail. They always fuck things up in one way or another. But aside from that, a lot of exposition that we already know and kind of just re-going over things with Team A and Team B of the situation at hand. But yeah, at least we got somewhere with this chapter, so it was fine for the most part. Let me know what you guys think. First of all, do you think that Gajeel definitely has advanced as a person, that he's more so taking a leadership role? Likewise with Natsu, I mean, again, I don't think he was going to jump in or do anything to disrupt things if it wasn't for it being a kid. And what did you think about Lucy or Erza's assets? Who had the better tools? And your overall thoughts of this one. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm from Netherworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.